Growing an email list is one of the most valuable assets you're going to have in your business. The reason for this is because your social media following, your YouTube subscribers, all of this is based on algorithms and based on third-party systems. If those algorithms change, if Instagram decide to ban you, you've lost them. Your email list, your email subscribers are yours. If you have an email list, export it, keep yourself a backup. They are yours. And email is still incredibly powerful when it's done right. And in this podcast episode, we're going to talk through some ideas on how you can grow your email list without just relying on a pop-up on your website. Because, like I said, you want as many good quality leads, good quality people in your email list as you possibly can, because that is how you're going to grow your business in the long term. This is episode 24 of the Together We Grow podcast. My name's Paul.
And I'm Tamer.
We welcome you along today. This is the podcast where we talk about our experiences and we talk about ideas and suggestions on how you can start, grow, and scale your home fragrance business. And it's based on our 6 years of experience of running 3 of them, which generated over £7.5 million in sales, which we ultimately sold. And now Tamer and I spend our time teaching people on how to do the same thing at the Home Fragrance Academy. We love doing it. It's so much fun, so fulfilling, isn't it?
It really is. We love helping other people. It's just a proper passion of ours.
Exactly. And this particular podcast was actually suggested to us in our Facebook group by, I think it was Helen, who is based in Australia. She has a business in Australia, which is quite confusing because when we're talking about summer collections, she's talking about winter collections.
Yeah, it is.
But Helen asked for tips on how to do that without just relying on pop-up. So we've bashed our heads together, thought about what we did years ago, came up with some other ideas as well, and we think you might find this episode interesting. So listen along if you want to learn how to grow your email list.
So brilliant. An email list is something that when I speak to people, when I do my engagement, I ask about, have you done a pre-launch campaign? Have you built up your email list? I find a lot of people I speak to are like, no, I don't keep emails. I don't save them. I just do it on social media.
Yeah. We see that a lot as well. And that's honestly, I promise you that is a big, big mistake. You want to build that email list. You want that to be like the second most important thing in your business after your sales. You want to see that growing. You want to see your stats increasing, your open rates, your click-through rates. Because if you have a healthy email list, then no matter what happens in the world with regards to social media stuff, if they all of a sudden close down, you have your email list so you can continue.
Well, that could happen.
Yeah.
Think about what happened previously with TikTok over in America.
Yeah, exactly.
They decided that that's it, TikTok's done. And then loads of people have like tens of thousands of followers, and that's where they get all of their orders from. If they've never collected email addresses, they've lost all of those customers.
Exactly. And that I could not imagine that happening. It would be horrible, wouldn't it? So when we talk to people, our students at Home Fragrance Academy, about email lists and things like this, this is what typically happens. People will have a pop-up on their website, or they'll have a little thing on their website which says sign up to our newsletter to get updates, which nobody will fill in. Some people have a little pop-up on their website which says get 10% off your next order, enter your email address here. That's better than nothing. That works. You will get people sign up to that.
I think you're only going to put your email address in there if you're actually already thinking about placing an order.
Yeah, absolutely. And then some people have like these quiz things. Then you see these pop up on the website where you've got like a spinning wheel, see what discount you've won. That's engaging. That's great as well. Really good ideas. So that's how people are collecting email addresses. And also, whenever anyone places an order on your website, that needs to be feeding into your email system as well automatically. So that's the typical way people get email addresses. And then when it actually comes to sending emails, a lot of people will send an email when they remember, when they can be bothered, or maybe once a week, which is good as well, yep. And they are Obviously, they're all about like selling. Look, we've got 10% off this, we've got discount, we've got this, got new product, all this kind of stuff. That's great because at least you're doing something there. But over time, you're going to get what's called email fatigue, and this is where people just, when they see your name pop in in their inbox, they know it's going to be some kind of selling promo or something. And over time, you'll probably see your delivery rates decrease, where people are not even opening it, they're just deleting it, or worse, marking it as spam. Your open rates will decrease, and so will your click-through rates. And then the power of that email list becomes a bit diminished. So we noticed that ourselves, actually. Only recently, with the Home Fragrance Academy, I ran a campaign on Facebook where we were generating leads, but I didn't really realize for about 2 or 3 weeks that the type of leads that we were generating they were only interested in the free item we were giving away. And that whole email list just turned into something which was just completely unengaged. And over the past few weeks, I've been really sort of working on enhancing that, and we're seeing a lot of positive changes. So I get it. It's a common thing. And you might think, it's not that you're doing anything wrong, it's just that you don't really you might not know any different. And I just want to tell you how powerful that can be, because with an engaged brand, there's no reason, even if you're selling products, there's no reason you can't have 40, 50, 60% email open rates.
Mm-hmm.
We did at Cozy Romas, I think we're about 45, and that's based on 75, was it?
Yeah, 5,000.
Email. So that's significant. And from that, you will get a percentage, maybe 1 to 3% people click through to your website. And then when they click through to your website conversion rate, whatever that might be, I think ours was about 6 or 7%. When you work out those numbers, you know that every time you send like a sales campaign where you actually want to get money coming in, you could kind of, how it's going to perform. But it takes a lot of work to get there. And towards the back end of last year, I was working with a home fragrance company who are quite big. They employ people. They've got their own premises. They've recently moved. They were actually a competitor of Cozy Aromas, our business. But I worked with them personally, didn't I, on their email campaigns. I did it for about 4 months.
Yeah, you did quite a lot of work on that.
And when we first started with them, their open rates were about 18%. And after the 4-month campaign finished, we were at 51, I think it was.
Something
51%.
like that.
So in 4 months, we managed to, and imagine, they had a hefty list of about 35,000 people. I think it was about 35,000 people. Imagine the lift that does, on your business. I'm talking about in terms of clicks to your website, how important that is. But it's only a few small tweaks that you need to really do and really test. Think about when an email lands in your inbox, what makes you open it? It's that subject line.
Mm-hmm.
You need such a compelling hook. And it's not always discount inside, blah, blah. Just don't do that. It needs to be some kind of compelling hook, something that leads on, like, I've had the worst week, ... And if people are following you as a brand, they'll be like, oh, what's that all about? They'll open it. And then introduce newsletters, something that are just not salesy at all. So every week, send like a newsletter, which is just it's almost like a blog post of what you have done throughout that week.
That was a really successful one when we had Cozy Roams, wasn't it? That was one that you introduced every Sunday, and it would include what the team's been up to, just behind the scenes photos that probably haven't been shared anywhere else either. And they feel that connection, and they look forward to it. And if you didn't send it out exactly the same time the next week, people would post in a Facebook group and say, oh, was there no newsletter this week?
Exactly. And people would post in the newsletter picking up on things. People would post in the Facebook group picking up on things I'd said in the newsletter.
Yeah.
And then they'd have a conversation there. There was nothing salesy about that. It was just a diary. But what I would say is, last weekend we launched our summer collection, which was wonderful. We've sent out so many stuff. Here's a picture of Darren packing the orders. It's been wonderful to see the feedback, etc. We do still have some available if you're interested, just with a link. No big buttons, just a link, just a text link. And that was, they performed a lot better in terms of open rates and click rates than what a lot of our emails did, didn't they?
They did. It just seemed so real and like personal, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And it shows you that if you can really nurture that list, then it can become incredibly powerful. I'm happy to talk to people about this as well. So if you are like really struggling on how to nurture your email list and really maximize it, send me a message, put a comment if you're watching this on YouTube or whatever, and I'll happily talk to you about that, because I know how important it is, and I know how quickly, if done properly, you can turn your business around using it.
Yeah, and you're very passionate about email marketing, and you really love it. You absolutely enjoy doing it.
What I love about it is that it's so black and white.
Mm.
You have stats. It's not like a marketing campaign where you're relying on like words to initiate action and stuff like that. Or actually, on some cases you are,
Places you are.
but it's like black and white whether it's worked or not, because you have stats, you have your open rates, you can run split tests and all this. It's something that I really enjoy. It's something that I feel like I'm actually pretty decent at, and I just know how impactful it can be. And then, of course, you've got a whole advanced stuff where you can really segment your audiences based on how many things they've ordered, etc., etc., etc. And oh my word, it can go crazy.
He loves all of that.
Yeah, it is good. It's good stuff. Okay, so that's the importance of an email list. Okay, don't just spam send people sales and stuff, because I guarantee if you're doing that, your email list, I'm sure, isn't working too well for you. If that's the situation you're in, ping me a message and I'll give you some tips. I'm not expecting anything in return. I'll just give you a few tips. Well, you do have to sign up to become a Home Fragrance Academy member. I'm joking. No, I'll give you some tips. Okay, so here are some ideas now on how you can actually start to grow your email list. So we'll talk about the first one, which is actually how you're going to encourage people to sign up on your website. Most people, like I said earlier, will have a little thing in the footer which says sign up, join our newsletter for updates, regular updates and discounts and stuff. And nobody will enter that. Okay. That just won't work. You might get one every month or something, because there's no reason for them to do that. They don't like you enough yet to do that. If they like you, they will have bought something from you and therefore will be getting the emails anyway, because you filtered those into your email list. Okay. So this is for cold people that have joined your website. A lot of people would then put a discount up. Bang. As soon as you land on a website, you see it on every website, don't you? Sign up to get 20% off your first order. They work very well. They do work well, because they are getting something that they can potentially use. However, that is based on them wanting to buy something from you, which they might not want to do. They might just land on your website. They might not want to do that. And I'm sure if you have one of these pop-ups, you can see the success rates of it as well. And you might agree with what I'm saying there. Because people won't just join your mailing list for a discount where they're not even sure if they're actually going to buy from you yet.
Can you time the pop-ups as well? Because what I hate when I go on a website that I think, oh, I'll have a look at that, and I go to start scrolling, and immediately there's a pop-up. It's like, well, hang on, I don't even know if I like the products yet.
But it depends what the pop-up is. If the pop-up is something that's very useful to them, then that's good, because they're in the right place anyway. They're on your website because they want something useful, potentially. But if it's a discount on a website you won't just landed on, you're like, well, I don't even know if I want to buy yet. But the problem is, when you close that discount box down, typically it will stay closed for the rest of your session, so you won't see it again. So then if you're scrolling through your website and you think, actually, I would like to buy now, but where's that discount box gone? Oh, it's not there. I don't know. Okay, well, I'm not going to place an order because I know they're going to give me a discount.
That's exactly my experience with multiple brands.
So if you are going to do that, then try and time it. And a lot of software that you use for this, I think, will allow you to do that. So you want to time it. Maybe they've clicked on 5 pages on the website, so you know that they're a high intent potential purchaser, and then give it to them. But here's a smart way of doing things, and this is something you don't very often see in e-commerce, but it's actually giving them something which is not a discount, but it's something which could be really useful to them. So imagine this: you land, one of your customers or visitors to your website, they land on your website, they click to a page, they know that you're selling candles and wax mounts, and then there's a little pop-up that came up once they visited your candle page and said, would you like a free guide on how to make your candles last longer?
Mm-hmm.
That's a pain point for people, because they're like, oh, they don't pull very well. They don't really understand. They just think they can light it and just let it crack on. They don't really understand the mail pool situation and how to trim the wick and all this. So if you can give them a very simple 3-page guide, really beautifully designed 3-page guide on how to look after their candles properly to make them last longer, to get more money out, their money's worth, that's going to be interesting to people, isn't it?
It is, and it's something that you don't normally see as well. It's out of the ordinary.
Yeah. Or it could be a quiz, or it could be a PDF, or it could be a quiz where it's popped up and says, take our fragrance mood matching quiz. So it's quite interactive. They type it, or they select certain things because they want to see the result. They want to see, based on their personality, what fragrance matches them. So they'll click on things, and then it will set, and then at the end it will say, right, enter your email address and we'll let you know what your result is. You enter your email address and bang, it pops up saying your fragrance is soft linen, whatever it is. And then it's got a little discount and a link straight to that product.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in your email list. You see what I mean? It's where it's taking a different view on it, because then when they see this, they're like, oh wow, that's not just a 10% discount like I see everywhere. This is actually something really useful.
They're interested because they've never seen it before. It's unique, but also useful.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a really important thing there. But if you are going to go down the discount route after, say, 5-page visits and that kind of stuff, which I think is also very smart, but you certainly don't want to be doing both of these things.
No.
You want to test. So test maybe the useful guide for a month, test a discount for a month. And what you want to see there is not necessarily your sales, because sales will come later after people have joined your email list, because you'll nurture them, etc. But you want to see what the people that signed up for the month using the guide, people that signed up for a month using your discount, what was the open rates on those emails? What was the click-through rates? What was the engagement on those emails? Because then that'll give you an idea on the type of people that you're getting there, and how successful it could potentially be. But another one to try as well, with regards to like discounts, is don't just give them a 10% discount, give them a free gift.
Yep.
So enter your email address below to claim your free gift. Once they do that, they get an email saying, here's you're going to get a free wax melt on your first order of over £15, whatever you want to do. Okay. And then use your unique code. So make sure it's a unique code, because then it doesn't just look like a welcome discount or welcome 10, which you see everywhere, or free gift. It's numbers or something that looks completely unique, because then they know it's for them. It's only them that they can claim it. So that's point one there. We call it a lead magnet. Okay. And I'll give you a good example of this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you are struggling with sales through your home fragrance website at the moment, and you really need some impactful strategies on how to get sales this week, not next week, this week, go to homefragrance.academy and you'll see our sales surge guide. That gives you 5 proven strategies that we used at Cozy Aromas to generate £7.5 million in sales. It's completely free, and they're things that you can implement today to start getting sales today and this week. Homefragrance.academy, completely free. There you go. That's a nice little spiel.
That was perfect.
Yeah. That's a lead magnet, okay? And that's what you're doing here. But I'm being serious there, actually. If you do want that, go to our website, because it is something we have available for you.
It is, yeah.
And then you'll join our email list, and then we'll give you some really useful content.
You can't miss it. Nice big green button.
Yeah. That gives you an idea of how impactful it can be, yeah? And then, so moving on to point 2 here is, and this is something people don't really do, is you want to grow your email list, so promote it like you would a product.
Yeah.
So post about it multiple times a month. Do reels about it. You know that little spiel I just gave you there about our sales search guide? Create yourself something like that as a reel, as a story that you can post a couple of times a month. Obviously make them all different, but give yourself a little script and overlay that guide. If it is going to be a guide, like I said about the how to make your candles last longer, then have a visual of it on your story as well, or whatever. Promote it like you would any other product, because it's so valuable. You almost want to get people on your email list more than you do getting them to buy one product initially, because you'll get more people on that email list, and when they're on there, you can then nurture them to really like you, and then they will start to buy stuff.
That's what you said earlier. It's about owning your audience, isn't it?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's owning your own audience. On your Instagram bio, you can have links on there, can't you? Have a link to that particular guide or whatever it is. So when people click to your website, they're going to your website, but the page they land on is this free thing. It's a free gift. It's the guide that I'll tell you about, whatever it's going to be, a discount, whatever you want it to be. But direct people to that page so they see it straight away. Talk about it in your DMs. Talk about it in comments. When people are commenting on something and say, oh, this fragrance sounds amazing, reply to them, say, it is amazing. If you'd like a free gift with your first order, click the link in our bio or whatever, however you want to word it, It's pushing people to it. Now, don't get this confused with actually trying to get people to buy through your website, because of course that's the most important thing. It is. But there are times where you can naturally feed this in as well, because you want to build that email list. And if you're going to use the guide idea or the fragrance mood matcher idea, that kind of stuff, then talk about what kind of problems it can solve. So the fragrance guide could be the mood matching thing, could help them pick a scent which reflects the mood that they're in. If they are feeling really anxious one day or just like really fed up and angry, then it will help them pick a scent which will feel good during that time.
Could calm them.
So if they buy that, then when they are feeling that way, they can like that particular fragrance, and that's kind of how you're showing the value of this guide. If you're talking about how long candles last, create some non-salesy content around how to make candles last longer, and then say, if you want the full guide, click the link in the bio, blah blah blah.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Break down some of the points that are in your guide and create short reels and show bits of it. And if you want the full information, click and get the guide.
Exactly. That's it, isn't it? And that's what's going to help people sign up. We do that, don't we?
We do. And when you're selling home fragrance products, you're not just chucking out another discount. It's something that's different. It's going to pique the interest of the people that are looking at your website, that are interested, and it's educational.
Yeah.
So it stands out in the market.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so here's another idea for you. And this is using a post-purchase email flow. We talk about this a lot, which is when someone places an order with you, they then go into a automated email sequence, which sends them content that's relevant to them. These aren't people that you want to get, that you are trying to convert into becoming a new customer. These are people that are already a customer of yours. And maybe this particular idea, you want to send them after they've placed maybe 2 or 3 orders. Okay. And this is how you'll grow your email list, because in those first couple of emails that this person gets, you're asking for referrals. So they will click on the link and you'll say to them, refer someone today, you'll get £5 off your next order, and your recipient, the person you refer, will get £5 off their first order as well. That's what we did at Cozy Rooms. They click a link, they enter an email address of the person that should receive this discount, hit send.
Yeah.
Now, chances are the person who's receiving that email, they already know that this person uses our products, likes them themselves, etc. So they're already primed anyway. So they then receive an email saying, Susan has sent you this £5 discount at Cozy Aromas. Click this link. They click this link, which confirms their email address. They're in your email list. They get a discount. If they don't place an order straight away, they are in a referrals email flow, which convinces them to place their order. If they do place an order, they then get into your post-purchase email flows.
Yep.
And then once they place their second, third order, they then get the referral email to then refer someone else. That's how you can really start to snowball it up. And the people that they're referring, they are free. You're not paying for that traffic. You're giving a discount off their first order, but that's fine because they already know, like, and trust you because their friends have referred them on. And you know what it's like. If someone says, I need to get my car fixed, do you know a mechanic? You say, yeah, this guy down the road are brilliant. Okay, take it there. You will take it there, won't you?
Well, that's exactly what we've recently did.
That's why I've used that as an example. If one of your friends say that, you'll trust them. It's a similar sort of thing. It's a sort of a psychological thing.
It is. you feel more willing to part with your money with somebody that you know, because like having a personal recommendation from somebody that you know and trust, you're then going to feel, okay, that company or that place I'm going to purchase from is somebody that I know I can trust.
Precisely. That's it. There you go. If you want a couple of other really sort of simple ideas, actually, just one other simple idea, I think, because it's broken up. But you can partner with other companies, complementing companies as well. There is quite a big player in the home fragrance industry, what are they called now? Sassy Scents.
Sassy Sense.
Used to be Sassy Shop Wax, don't you? Didn't they? They were a big competitor of Cozy Aromas. They do a lot of partnerships with complementing brands, where they team up with a brand which don't sell the same products, but they target the same kind of audience.
So the same sort of demographic, the same age, they like the same styles, the same kind of shopping experience.
Yes, exactly. And these companies they partner with have a decent size audience, and it will be a competition of some description. So what you'd do is, to enter this competition, they need to go to a website and fill in their email address, okay? And then it'll be a shared database. You'll have access to it, so will this other company that you're partnering with. But they will win a hamper, which has got 12 of your products, 12 of their products, or however it works out. And then it just goes crazy because you're promoting it on your socials. They are promoting it on their socials. You're capturing some of their audience. They're capturing some of your audience. Win, win, win. Everyone's happy. You're building your email list. Problem there, potential problem, is that quality. You have to test this because sometimes these people might just be signing up to enter to get this free thing. We've done similar kind of things before, and yes, the quality is not quite there, but you still pick up some good customers from it.
Mm-hmm. It's about like the balance of it, isn't it? It's trying to test it and work out whether that was good enough quality and whether it's worth doing again or not, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. But that's it really for this podcast. There's some tips there for you on how to build that email list, but I don't want you to lose sight of how important it is to do this and how important it is to nurture that email list and make sure it's as well looked after as possible, because it's an incredibly valuable asset. And when you start to build an email list that is engaged and does perform well for you, you'll know what I mean when I say how valuable that asset is, because you will just make money from that email list.
Yeah.
If all your social media is closed down, you could still send emails to people saying, come and buy this thing. If they're engaged, come and buy this thing, and you will make sales.
There were times when we ran Cozy Aromas that we would not post on social media about offers or things that were available. We would only send it via email.
Yeah.
And that had some incredible success, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because you'd worked so hard on our email list and made sure it was nurtured and engaged and everybody was in the right places, that the people that received these emails were like, oh, this is something special. I need to open this. It's not anywhere else. They open it, place their orders, and then a few days later they're receiving them and people are saying, hang on, I never saw this available. So, no, come and join our email list then, and you would have.
That's perfect. Perfect. Absolutely right. So there you go. If you'd like some other tips on how to get sales, then I mentioned it earlier in this podcast. Go to our website, homefragrance.academy. We've got a free guide there which gives you 5 proven strategies on how you can get sales this week. Sign up to it completely free, and you'll see what I mean. And then we will send you a nice sequence of emails which will tell stories, which will slowly guide you, give you some tips, etc. And you'll see what I mean by how these email flows can work. Because our job is, I'm being totally frank with you now, you download that guide, we then nurture you in a really nice story-based way, giving you lots of value, and then we're going to try and sell you something, which hopefully you'll be like, actually, yeah, you know what? I know these guys, I like them, I trust them, I will buy it, and because I know it's going to help my business. You see, that's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
You can do a similar sort of thing instead of just saying, here's a 10% discount, which doesn't have the impact it once did, because they're everywhere. That's our take on that.
It certainly is. Remember to think outside the box.
Yeah. And that was episode 24. We would love to have you review our podcast. Please do hit that 5 stars. Whether you liked it or not, hit that 5 stars. If you're on YouTube, the link to what I've just discussed is in the top of the comments and also in the description. Like and subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. I'm rubbish at this, but like and subscribe, all that good stuff. We will speak to you in next week's episode.
And we'll speak to you soon. Thanks, guys.